Hello and welcome to Reality TV Cringe on the night of my cat's quinceañera and 2 nights after Sister Wives Season 19 Episode 21.
Wow.
Yes, we have returned to Season 19 and a lot has happened and I'm very excited to get into it.
Me too.
By the way, I'm Delia, one of your co-hosts, also known as the Redhead or Fat Cat. And that over there is my real tight homegirl and my daughter-in-law, Beatrice, also known as Razorblade, the Green Goddess.
That's me.
We are here to talk about Sister Wives. Before we do, we have to issue you a disclaimer. Please hide your wife and hide your kids. This is a politically incorrect podcast. We say stupid things. We've got dumb opinions. And from time to time, there is a vulgarity that slips out of Beatrice. And so if you're sensitive,
Get out of here, you little diaper pamper baby.
you might want to find yourself another dumpster.
Bye.
But if you're ready to relocate to North Carolina with a bunch of other raccoons, welcome to this dumpster.
And if you like what we do over here, please be sure to follow us on Instagram at Reality TV Cringe and join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Reality TV Cringe. That's the biggest dumpster of them all. And if you think we're crazy and crass over here, we are way more over on Patreon.
We were wrapping up 1,000-pound best friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know what was in the water that day, if there were some vapors in the air, but we were crazy.
Yeah.
And that show is crazy. And
Yeah.
we have so much fun with it. So come on over to Patreon and help support your girls of the dumpster.
Please and thanks.
Now, if you are watching on YouTube, hello, how are you doing?
Hi.
You look wonderful today.
Wow.
Please do not forget to like and comment and share and subscribe because truly every single thing you do helps us to continue to eat the trashy poo.
Ooh.
And if we're eating the trash, we're getting fatter. The fatter we are, the closer to God and the closer to those 6,000 subscribers.
True.
So anything you can do is really appreciated. Thank you. Hit it there.
Thank you.
All right, let's just get right.
Just dive into
Go
it.
with it.
All right.
So Sister Wives Season 19 Episode 21, if you can believe
This is
that.
redonkulous.
Entitled,
The Land of Milk and Honey? ?
oh Lord.
I don't know if that's referring to Tieta Farms.
I think so. I think
Maybe.
it's referring to Janelle's trek across the nation
Yeah,
and her new home in North Carolina. That's what I think it is.
probably.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's where we start the episode. We start still on the way to North Carolina. Last we left was when Janelle and Christine and David were taking shots in some bar in Louisiana or something.
Right.
And so now they're on the road again. David's driving the U-Haul for Janelle, which is very sweet.
Very nice. Very nice.
And we have some interesting conversations between Christine and David in that U-Haul.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have some interstitials between Kody and Robyn
God.
and Janelle.
Pause.
What?
Because I forgot to ask you what your major takeaway was. And I really did want to ask you,
Oh.
like after you watched this entire episode, did you walk away with a specific flavor or a vibe? And if so, what was that?
I mean, Robyn looks less terrible
Okay.
in these interstitials, I think.
It's very generous of you.
I know, I'm being really nice. I'm starting off on a good note.
Okay.
But she was a major BICTH this episode. I
Yeah.
felt like she was just talking some smack about Mary. She was kind of throwing some digs towards Christine and Janelle a little bit,
Mhm.
calling them all toxic. I'm like, you little snake.
A little bit mask off.
Yeah.
Mask is coming off. It's slipping.
Yeah.
Slipping off.
It's kind of interesting.
My major takeaway was like, this is what it would be if the show was just about Kody and Robin and their kids. Like the baptism stuff
Ugh.
and the Josephines outside all dressed as if it's Easter, which it's not because it's June of 2024, pretending that Aurora just got baptized, which she did not. Everything is a performance.
Mhm.
Everything is fake. And it's all just set up to talk about Robin and Kody being soulmates or how
Yeah.
fantastic a parent Kody or Robin is. I mean, like, this is all it is.
Yeah.
And I seriously I seriously could have done without seeing them at all,
Oh,
and it
for
would
sure.
have been a better episode. Like, I can spend all day with Janelle talking about her plans,
Mhm.
her farmersonly.com. I can even listen to Christine Babylon about what she's doing with David. And
Yeah.
I loved the scenes with Mary and especially with Jenn. Like, that could
Oh,
have been
I
the whole thing.
know.
And I would never have missed Kody and Robyn and their
At all.
progeny.
Yeah. They can rot for all I care.
Rot in hail, according to Brittany Cartwright. Rot in hail.
Honestly, I just didn't understand that whole baptism
We don't
thing.
need them.
No.
We literally only need to refer to them and what might be happening as their lives are destroyed
Well, yeah.
extraneously. Like, we don't need to have scenes with them at all.
Right. We just need Newsweek articles about them
Yes.
filing for bankruptcy.
Yes.
Going to
Lawsuits,
jail or
child
something.
support, all
Yeah.
of that. That's all. Like, people talking about that, but never, ever having to see them again. That's like how I felt about it.
I agree with you.
Okay. How do you guys feel about it?
Yeah.
Like, did you have any major takeaways after you watched this episode? If so, drop down in the comments or go ahead and send little Beatrice over here a DM on the Instagram.
Or Patreon.
Or Patreon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Back to the episode. Sorry that I took us on a detour.
No, it's okay.
So we've got Janelle and Christine and David making the trek all the way to North Carolina. There were some interesting conversations in the U-Haul.
Yep.
Like, what struck you?
Well, it was interesting how they were talking about marriages keeping score. I think David was the one that brought it up. He was like, you should never keep score in a marriage, because Christine was talking about how everything had to always be like 50-50, and now she doesn't have to worry about it because David's so amazing. He's like the most perfect husband. And David's like, yeah, you should never keep score in a marriage. That's like when it's doomed. And then Christine makes a comment about how she was always keeping score in her marriage with Kody, specifically with Robyn. She would look over at Robyn and be like, wow, she has better dishes and a better couch and better clothes and better everything. And I'm left with all of the scraps. And that was kind of spelling doom for their family and for their marriage.
Yes. And then pan to Robyn on the couch and she's talking, well, oh my gosh, if we have to keep score, then like, are we even friends? Are we even in a family together? Like, it makes no sense. Are we supposed to be on the same team? Which is easy for you to say when you're the one who's getting all the stuff.
Yep.
You're the one that's taking all the resources. You're the one that's getting all the money and the McMansions and the benefit of this family. But when somebody else isn't, and indeed when they're getting the dregs and the scraps, you come in acting like that's not valid. Come on, Robyn.
I know.
You cannot believe that yourself,
I
can
think
you?
she does.
I
she
don't
does.
think she believes that.
She's been huffing her farts for so many years. I really do think she believes it, because it makes her think that she's not the villain in this whole entire situation. And she can't acknowledge that she's the villain. She can't acknowledge that she's even at fault for anything. It's everybody else has to manage their jealousy. Everybody else has to stop comparing their apples to my orange. Like, it's everyone else's fault.
Well,
not
she
her.
kind of comes close when she talks about the failings of the family, like the things they could have done differently, like God could have been more centered in their relationships, et cetera, et cetera. But like, she never gets to the part where she says, and what I could have done differently.
Exactly.
And this is what I learned from all of this. And this is how I'm changing my behavior going forward. Like, we never get in the ballpark of that.
Yeah, never. And then we have another conversation with Christine and David about camping. And this was like in the context of Christine mentioning how Kody wanted everybody to always look very nice. And he would praise the wives when they would like wear a lot of makeup and they'd wear their push-up bras. I'm just joking. But like when they would like look really nice and done up for him. And Robyn was always prioritizing that. Like when they went camping as a family, Christine and Janelle would be slaving away, caring for all of the 1,000 of kids that were on this camping trip, cooking and cleaning and sweating and looking like crap. And then there's Robyn, and we have a flashback.
Which I love.
I love that
because
so
they really don't do that at all.
No, they don't.
Like, and there are so many cataloged lies and we're constantly screaming from the dumpster, like, can you just flash back to season X, Y, or Z? And here we have it.
We do.
The actual flashback to that camping trip. I want to say it was the first or the second season. And that's the camping trip that Hunter gets really upset and Janelle has to correct him, right? Because how dare you have feelings?
Exactly.
You're not entitled to feelings.
Yep.
But we see her sitting on her ass
Mhm.
putting on makeup. She didn't look 6 months pregnant to me.
I know. But that was her justification. While
Right.
the producer showed this flashback of her doing her makeup while everybody else is slaving away.
Well, Mary's not.
Well, Mary's sitting there with her friend,
Mm-hmm.
watching her do makeup.
Right.
And then we have Robyn being like, well, yeah, on that camping trip, I was 6 months pregnant. I was really sick and I was up all night on my hands and knees throwing up outside of my tent. And so that's why I was doing my makeup, because I had to get ready for the day because I was sick.
I just think she's lying. So
Yeah.
is it bald-faced
I don't
lie?
know.
Is it a bold face? She's lying though.
Yeah.
Why are you always lying? And she's
For
just
real.
making it up on the fly. Maybe she didn't expect the producer to ask that question. And she's like, what? They said what? Oh, no, absolutely not. I was 6 months pregnant. No, you weren't, girl.
No, you weren't.
You don't look like you have any belly. Maybe you're a little bit pregnant. Maybe you
Mhm.
could have some morning sickness. But the fact of the matter is, you let these other women do all of the heavy lifting while you sat your pretty self down in
Mhm.
your diesel jeans
Yeah.
and you put your eyeliner on.
For your man.
Yep.
On a camping trip.
Right.
Which is just ridiculous. And then this was where Christine made a comment that I wish she would have expanded on, about how Kody, that camping trip, was like praising Robyn over and over again about how beautiful she looked and how amazing she looked in front of all these other wives. And I'm like, I want more examples like this.
Mhm.
I want more of the wives to say stories like this, because I want more of a window into how they were treated differently off camera. Because like we don't really see moments like that, especially in the earlier seasons. Like Kody is very careful to make us believe that he cares about all of the other wives. We don't get to see those moments off camera
Mhm.
where he's just like, oh my God, Robyn, you're so beautiful. Oh my God.
Right.
And then not like praising Christine or Janelle or any of the other ones, or maybe putting them down and we just don't know. Like, I don't know. It was just an interesting comment that Christine made.
Very much. And of course, all along as an audience, we've been sniffing it out.
Oh, yeah.
And we have our monocles and we can sense what's going on, the disturbance in the force.
Mhm.
But like to actually have these open conversations, that's what we have been waiting for.
Yep.
And we get some of that from Mary. I know we're rushing ahead, but Mary does bring us some tea in this episode, which I loved.
A little bit. Like a tiny little saucer of tea.
She's still a
But
bit
it's something.
defensive of Kody, but yes, it's something.
It is something. And then we have like an interstitial with Kody and Robyn, where Kody says they're like moving on from all of the toxicity of all of the other wives leaving him, and Robyn are like really trying to work on their relationship, make things better.
Sure.
Then we have Robyn saying there was a lot of unfair fighting going on behind the scenes, a lot of people punching below the belt, calling each other names, and I think she said something, jumping to conclusions, and all of these fights were what broke up the family. And I'm like, can you expand on that?
Yes, please elaborate.
I would love to know who was fighting who.
And I feel like when Robyn is saying this is what we were doing, I think what she's really saying is that's what I was doing.
Yes.
I was not fighting fairly. And I think also she might be referring like to keeping score and things of that nature, to the schedule, to the amount of time that Kody spent at her house versus everybody else. And so this unfair fighting, I mean, I think it's coming from you, Robyn. I think the call is coming from inside the house.
100%. She makes a couple comments like that I'm like, oh, you're referring to yourself.
You're telling on yourself.
Yep. But you think you're telling on the other wives, but it's you, girl. And then we finally arrive in North Carolina. I guess Janelle's going to be living with Caleb and Maddie in a room above their garage.
Yes.
Which I thought was really sweet, actually.
Yeah.
And really great for her. And she's sold everything. She's terminated all her leases. Like, she's done. She straight up says the only ties that she has to Flagstaff now are Savannah and Gabe, because I guess they still live out in town.
Which is interesting, because when we were actually moving, leaving Flagstaff and getting in the U-Haul to start this journey and go to the storage unit in the sky and then get on through to Louisiana, like that was like January of 2024, I do believe. And at that time, Garrison was still with us. And so she referred to Garrison then in those particular scenes. But now we see sufficient time has passed and we've got Janelle kind of correcting the record. Like Garrison is no longer in Flagstaff. And for me, I'm like, can we take a beat though?
Yep.
Can we pause and address that I would have loved that.
Yep.
I am not owed that.
Of
And I
course.
acknowledge it. But I mean, just like, when are we going to talk about this? Because at least in the timeline with Aurora getting baptized, which we'll talk about,
Mhm.
and with the move and the farms and the acquiring of the property in North Carolina, like, Garrison has passed.
Mhm.
Are we just not going to mention it until Suki's talking to us about it?
I don't think we're going to talk about it at all, unfortunately.
Wow.
And I just don't understand it. Me and Ethel were actually talking about it today, and she was making some good points about, like, it might have been Janelle's call that, and we've talked about this
Sure.
before, like, Janelle probably was the one that said, we're not going to talk about him at all on the show. Or it could have been TLC's call because he was texting a
Mhm.
TLC producer the night that he died. And so maybe TLC wants to not be liable at all. And so they just were
Mhm.
like, maybe they pitched it to the family and they were like, yeah, we're just not going to mention Garrison at all. And the family, being the family who's grieving, is like, you know what? That's fair. Great. We don't have to talk about it.
Mhm.
And I mean, like you had said, we are not owed anything as the fans. We do
Mhm.
not deserve any kind of conclusions or anything like that. I just feel bad for the memory of Garrison,
Mhm.
for him to just be a bit erased.
Yes, as if he never was.
Yes.
As if he's not factoring in so deeply and profoundly to Janelle's journey right now.
Right.
And to her experience of her own
Exactly.
life and all of the thoughts that she's having right now, acquiring this land in North Carolina. Like, that's, I mean, I would really love to tap into your spirit about that.
Yep.
And yeah, we're not owed that. And she can do whatever she wants.
Of course.
But, like, from a meta position, if we could all just pop up out of this dimension for just one moment. You've
Zoom out.
shared your entire life with us thus far. You've shared almost all of Garrison's life with us. And the reality is, though, that we're so invested. And a lot of us out here actually have real love, concern, compassion, and care for you. And we have our own ideas about how we might honor this young man as well. And it's just like, it is a parasocial dynamic.
Yep.
And it, in and of itself, it is inherently toxic in that way. But
Right.
at the same time, I just feel like this could be handled so much better in these moments.
I agree.
And so all I will say, besides everything I just said, is that, like, I noticed it.
Yep. Me too.
I noticed it, and it felt a little weird to me.
Me too. It felt like something was missing, and that's because there is something missing.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a difficult conversation. It's very convoluted. I don't want to be, like, critical of the family and everything if this was their choice. It's just weird. It just feels weird
Yes.
as the viewer.
Yep.
But as we're in North Carolina, the mood is pretty light. Like, Janelle's really happy to be out there. The only things that are tying her are the kids that are left out in Flagstaff and Coyote Pass, of course.
Mhm.
And Janelle says she's very eager to get that done and over with, so she
Right.
never has to talk to or refer to Kody ever again in her
Mhm.
life. Based. And then we have Christine and David, Janelle, Caleb and Maddie all in the kitchen. And then I guess David's gay friend who gave him the lap dance. Sorry. Who gave him the lap dance
Yeah.
at their wedding is also there.
Yeah.
And then this kind of prompts, like, some weird discussion about setting up Janelle with Amia,
Yes.
which was kind of interesting.
It was interesting. And then later they kind of talk about farmersonly.com,
Yeah.
which is only germane as far as I'm concerned, because we continue to talk about, like, it
Yeah.
feels like we're dreaming.
Uh-huh.
All of us together, even Christine and David, are dreaming of the same kind of man for Janelle.
Uh-huh.
This rough and tumble cowboy / farmer naturalist that
Yeah.
she would love to be with. But this is the segment in which we get to the rock hard abs
My God.
of Kody Brown. And Christine makes, like, a little joke about it, like, well, we know what kind of man you're going to be looking for on the dating apps. He's got to have those rock hard abs.
And pecs and everything.
You know, and then cut to Janelle in her talking head. And she's like, I mean, according to Kody Brown.
Yeah.
And then cut to Kody Brown on the couch.
Girl.
And he doesn't make a joke out of it, which
No.
I totally would have, because that was a ludicrous thing for you to say.
He's dead serious.
He's dead serious.
He feels the need to clarify.
He doubles down.
He needs to
He
clarify.
underlines it.
Yeah.
He points with arrows to it. Oh, I'm sorry if I said rock hard abs. I meant washboard abs. As if we all haven't seen the photographs of him
Yeah.
shopping for beer at the Piggly Wiggly with his big old beer gut.
Uh-huh.
As if we all cannot remember him out in the La leprotic syphilitic pond with the prairie dogs with just his underwear on and his big old belly hanging out. Like, there was never a time since we've met you, I would dare say, that you had washboard abs. Only the men in my smut books on the cover who are 23 years old have washboard abs. I just can't believe him. He's a preposterous person.
Well, and he also wanted us to know that he has buns of steel. And I'm like, why?
Why?
You are in your 50s, my guy.
Why?
You peaked years ago. You are in your 50s. You
Indeed.
are old. You are balding. And no offense to people in their 50s, but I'm just like, Kody, you are not 23.
No.
And I don't think you ever had washboard abs.
But it really does underscore how attached to image he is. And how even in his own mind, he has this idea of himself as being well put together and handsome. And Janelle only ever wanted me for the sex, honey.
I know.
She only ever saw me as a piece of meat. And I'm like, I can assure you, on behalf of Janelle, it has been a long time since she has ever seen you as a piece of meat, Kody.
Exactly. Well, and he also said he couldn't be a person, like a vulnerable person with Janelle. So that was like the other part of it, which I thought was really interesting. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I feel like with Janelle, you guys had a sweet relationship. You said that a lot in the earlier seasons. We could kind of see the chemistry with you guys.
Yes.
And you guys would talk and you were very companionable. Like, I don't understand what you mean there. That just seems like a dig, and nobody sees you as a piece of meat.
Absolutely not.
No one.
I feel like it is his caveman attempt to kind of slut shame her, because I do think that there was a period of time, probably proximate to when he's saying this. So again, this takes us back to the cul-de-sac in Vegas when we're talking about a sexual renaissance. There was a period of time where maybe Janelle was very interested in connecting with him in that way, and maybe pursued him in that way, maybe more than the other wives did. And so he's still kind of hanging on to that, and he's using it as some kind of a weapon to shame her for like having a healthy sex drive and wanting to be with her husband, which I think he probably also did with Christine as well.
Yeah.
It's like he's just a piece of crap all the way around every day and twice on Sundays. He can't say a nice thing about any of these women to save his life. These women who gave him absolutely everything that he has. These women who paid into, funneled their resources into the LLC that I allege he stole from, in my opinion, and so did Robyn, so she could buy Etsy dolls at $60,000 a year. And you don't have one nice thing, not even one nice thing you could say about Janelle, who, by the way, sidebar, looks beautiful.
Of course she does.
Looks beautiful. Like, you can just tell when someone has walked away from a truly toxic and poisonous relationship. Like, something shifts in their energy. She looks ethereal. She looks lighter. She's wearing like different colors. She just looks so good. And I'm so happy for her.
Me too.
She got rid of him.
Oh yeah. Honestly, all three of the OG wives are looking great. I mean, like, Mary lost all of her weight.
Yes.
Christina's also glowing because, you know, David's eating that box.
Oh my God. I hope so for her sake.
And they're all like so much happier. Like, when we just got out of the rewinds, I'm like watching season 19. I'm like, dang, these women look better than they did 12 years ago in season 6. It's crazy what the codification does to you.
Yes.
And then you look at Robyn, who, like, I know I said she looked better in these interstitials at the beginning of this.
Well, better for her over the last few years.
Yeah, but like earlier season Robyn and season 19 Robyn, two different people in my opinion.
Yeah, or even season 18 Robyn, season 17 Robyn
the eyebrows.
Versus this Robyn.
Yeah.
I mean, Ozempic. Something's going on. Something's happening over there for a couple of these wives.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's trying a little harder with the Minghe.
Yeah.
We've got some lashes that are trying to emerge.
The curls are tightening.
So I think she's hearing the feedback, and I think she's sensitive to it. And I think she looks fine. I mean, she looks dour.
I mean, yeah.
She looks sour.
She does.
She looks like a bummer if a bummer were a person.
100%.
But I mean, nice lashes, I guess.
I guess. Who paid for those, though?
Well, I thought it was mascara, but I'm old school. People are sewing those in now, right?
They're those are fake lashes for
lash
show.
techs.
Yeah, those are fake lashes for show.
They don't look good.
No, they
don't. Maybe they do.
But then we have everybody heading to Janelle and Maddie's property that they just bought. It's 165 acres of completely rugged land.
Undeveloped, raw land.
And I was looking at that and I was like so intimidated.
Were you?
Yeah, I'm just like, I could not imagine like developing that. And I'm totally on the side of like Christine and Mary when they're like, I would never buy land like Janelle. But I am so happy for her because you can tell she is so invigorated by this. She's like so excited. Like she's like, I know it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be several years. We have to do a lot of permitting. We have to chop down all of these trees and a lot of landscaping and all this stuff. But I'm so excited. It's going to be really great. But she did say something that made me a little nervous because she said financially, everything is riding on this farm to be successful.
That scares me.
That scares me a lot.
Quite a lot, especially since last week you told us that their permits didn't come through or else they didn't get them or something's going on with like the regulation aspect of it. And now Caleb's growing trees behind his home
or like
something
flowers
like
or something.
that. I don't know. It was kind of giving with Janelle like the fervent energy that she had, that sort of almost manic energy to get out on Coyote Pass and have like a casita or something and getting the blueprints together and nobody else is around like co-signing any of this, and she was just almost desperate to make it happen, and at the end of the day it did not happen for her. And so I'm just hoping that and trusting that she's learned from some of these mistakes, that she's not putting all of her eggs in one basket.
I think she is, though.
You think she's... I mean, really?
Yeah, I mean, she said financially everything is riding on this.
I'm worried. And she did just release on Instagram like photos of them clearing the plot for her home, which is going to be a 50 by 50 home, which I looked it up on my calculator. That's a 2,500 square foot home.
Okay.
It's going to have like a wraparound porch.
Ooh.
But like, it feels to me like once Coyote Pass was sold and then funded to everybody got their payout, then she started maybe moving on the home. I'm not sure if that is what happened, but maybe she needed that money, that injection of cash.
Maybe.
In order to start. And if it's like that though, like if it's like that, if it's tight like that, like I'm waiting for the Coyote Pass money in order to start just breaking land on this home, then it is a little nerve-wracking. However, the silver lining here is I think how established Maddie and Caleb are.
Yes.
And I don't think they're going to be getting rid of their home anytime soon. I think that Janelle will always have a garage apartment if she wants it. I just hope it works for her. I'm a little nervous.
Me too. And I mean, Cody's not involved in this venture at all. So like they might actually be able to get stuff done and like actually develop the land like Janelle had wanted to do on Coyote Pass. So I'm really hoping that everything works out the best for her and she develops her farm and she has a very successful tree farm or whatever.
Right.
But that comment made me a little nervous.
Did you hear Maddie's comment in the minivan when they were driving, or Christine and her were kind of sitting next to each other and Christine's like, well, at least you guys are going to be developing your land. Like we had Coyote Pass and we never were able to develop it. And Maddie says something like, yeah, well, Cody Brown says things, but he doesn't really do things.
Yeah. That was good.
Like, get him, shank him, knife in the kidneys. He's going to hear that and he's going to be so mad because in his mind, he feels like he has accomplished so much based on his station in life. He doesn't understand that it was all these women who gave that to him.
Yep. And I think that was also around the same time where Christine had made the comment of like, yeah, I learned quite late that if I waited for Cody, I would never get anything done. But Janelle was always super independent. And apparently during their marriage, she would just go and take like girls trips solo by herself. She'd be like, peace out. I'm going camping by myself.
Can I ask why we never saw that though?
I know, right?
Yeah, like we are currently doing a rewind. We are in season 6, but I mean, maybe we'll see it in the coming seasons, but like I don't remember her doing that. And like I would have loved to see her actually taking that initiative and doing that.
Right.
But that's just another thing I think that she probably hid from the viewers.
Probably. She seems like a very private person. Like she just wants to keep her own stuff.
Yeah. Like
she'll show what she wants us to see, but other than that, we don't see anything else. So I was very surprised to hear that.
Yeah, me too.
And then we have up in Parowan, got Mary and her lesbian lover, Jenn.
Okay. Okay.
But they are talking some smack a little bit about Robyn, bro.
And you know that this whole scene is just set up so that they can have this conversation and that Jenn is just waiting, honey. She's just champing at the bit. She can't wait to start talking about Robyn. And so as soon as Mary walks in, she's like, did you get my email? Like Mary's like, what email? And she's like, well, that guy wrote back. The guy who wrote before, because apparently he's ordered something from my sister wife's closet and never received the actual merchandise. And so he reached out via the website, no response. And so he took it upon himself to reach out to Mary. And so Mary took a screenshot, sent it to Robyn and said, hey, this is your bum ass shit. Can you please take care of this? But apparently she hasn't. And this person has reached out to Jenn a second time. And they're like, what are we going to do about it? And then we have that little thing with Robyn all uncomfortable in her talking head talking about my sister wife's closet.
Yeah, and how it's put on pause for right now. As if it's going to get restarted.
Right.
Like, you're not going to do crap with this. Like, so miss me with that. But it's on pause. And apparently some people sneak orders in.
Right. As if it's the customer's fault that they snuck onto the website and they prowled around and looking at all of their sister wives' wares and purchased and had the audacity to send me money that I did not refund. Nor did I fulfill their orders. How dare they?
And that's what's crazy. I'm like, is it going into Robyn's account or does it go into like some family joint account that nobody's closed?
Which is Robyn's account.
Right. Which is Robyn's account. But I'm like, how did nobody notice this until the customer had to reach out and be like, I ordered this 6 months ago. Where's my chunky, ugly bracelet?
Right.
But I thought that was great. Mary's like, I screenshot it and sent it to Robyn. I'm not dealing with it.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, just wild that she's still stealing money from people after all these years. She's nothing if not consistent.
Of course.
Robyn.
Of course. And then this kind of opens up the conversation for Jenn and Mary to talk about Mary's relationship with Robyn or lack thereof. And Jenn kind of just gets right into it and says that Robyn was never really a good friend to Mary. She would talk behind her back. She would hurt her feelings. And she just, I don't know, just would make crap up. And this is where Mary starts opening up about COVID specifically, was like, it seems like that was the, I don't want to say catalyst.
Well, the clarifying time in Mary's life where like Mary says that she was following all of those, I dare say, ridiculous rules that Kody and Robyn had for the entire family, but that they didn't follow themselves because they ended up bringing COVID into their home vis-a-vis their housekeeper or maid or nanny or whatever. But Mary sitting there in her big rental with like a playground in the back that Saul and Ari could come over and play on, which she said, I mean, she's implying that she actually got that property so that the kids could come over and hang out with her.
Yeah.
And it sounds like her and Robyn had discussed when they moved to Flagstaff that they would be hanging out. And so Mary had this existing and alive expectation that she would be commingling her life with these folks. And it sounds like they gave her an assurance that that would be the case. And then she gets to Flagstaff and like during all of COVID, she's alone. Nobody's there. Nobody's coming to visit, least of all Robyn. And what they're getting to the heart of, I think, is that Robyn likes to talk a good game on camera and talk about how close we are and she's my friend. But when push comes to shove, she just left her in the dust. And it's actually really, really sad.
It's really messed up because Mary, we've talked about before, is very, very loyal. And she was very loyal to not only Kody, but to Robyn, and was friends with Robyn for all of these seasons. And then COVID hits, Mary follows all the rules, and Robyn ghosts her. Like, not only doesn't tell her, like, oh, you can't come over, totally ghosts her, doesn't talk to her at all. And then Robyn's justification for this and her interstitial is just like, well, our schedules just like couldn't line up, and like we both really wanted to hang out, but like it just didn't work out that way. Sorry.
Like I had 5 kids I had to homeschool. Whatever. And then the year after that, Mary was traveling so much. So I just know that we really wanted to, but it just didn't work out, like you said. And I'm just like, God, Robyn,
whatever.
Do you hear yourself talking? And how is she going to feel when she actually watches this back and sees Mary start to call out some of this behavior. And we even kind of touch upon when Mary is leaving Flagstaff and Kody and Nate are over helping her to pack. And here comes Sour Robyn.
Oh my God. With the junk journal.
With her junk journal.
Yeah.
Like, and the cameras are there though. So here comes Robyn to say goodbye. But like, did she help actually pack up? Was she part of the moving process? Absolutely not. She only came for her time on camera. So yes, call this out.
And that was so good that Jenn brought that up. She like literally tells Mary, if Nate and Kody and the cameras weren't there, Robyn would not have showed up. And Mary in her interstitials like, yeah, I wasn't even expecting her to show up. I didn't know. I didn't realize she was so sad. And then Jenn and Mary kind of make fun of the junk journal just a little bit. They don't like outwardly say it. But
Jenn is like, it's fabulous. Your fabulous gift.
And Mary laughs about it.
Right.
I'm like, yay. More of this, please.
Yes.
More of this mean girl energy. I want it. And then Mary talks about how there's like been a divide between her and Robyn that has grown over the last few years, especially during COVID. That was definitely like the straw that broke the camel's back, really. And this is where Mary started questioning how close her and Robyn actually were. And she's kind of grieving this relationship that she thought she had with Robyn, but she doesn't even know if it was genuine. And I just want more. I want Mary to say more about that.
Yeah, but even in these moments, she's still kind of covering for Robyn. She's like, I don't think she did anything maliciously. And I'm like, really, Mary? You don't think she knew full well that you were alone in your home during a worldwide pandemic, probably very afraid and also lonely? And I think her dog died during those years as well.
She?
Yes, she had a dog, and I think the dog dies. And, you know, Leon, I think at the time was in Chicago, and then they moved somewhere else. I don't know.
Colorado, yeah.
But like, Mary's alone.
Yeah.
And you could have been there for her. You could have been a friend, even if you just texted, even if you just called. But the way it sounds is like crickets.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Robyn's not even calling to check in at all. And then, of course, we had like Christmas and various holidays, like where Isabel's in town. And Mary would love to see Isabel, but nobody tells Mary. It's just like so bad.
It's really bad. And Jenn calls this out multiple times. She's like, you know, she would act like your best friend, but then not talk to you at all. And she would hurt your feelings. And that was totally messed up. And it's weird how both Jenn and Mary are very quick to say that Robyn wasn't intentionally manipulative. They actually put the onus more on Kody, and that Kody became obsessed with Robyn and her diesel jeans, and Mary calls Robyn his shiny new toy, which was interesting, but they don't elaborate more on that.
Right. I mean, there is some good information coming through. Like, apparently there was a conversation. It feels a little bit like Robyn initiated it. Like, hey, next time you're in Flagstaff, you want to hook up, we can get some like coffee or something. And Mary very directly says, well, I don't know how to be friends with my ex-husband's wife.
Yeah.
Which shocks Robyn. Like, she's like, what are you talking about? Like, being in a sister-wives relationship is way more difficult than just having a friendship with me. But is it though?
The audacity.
Are you sure about that?
The audacity
Maybe
of
it's
saying
worse.
something like that. Especially to freaking Mary, who was like begging basically for Kody to stay married to her and love her and touch
begging
her.
to be able to come over and see the kids or have the kids come over and hang out with her, even if it's outside during COVID.
Yes.
Begging.
But sister-wife relationship is harder than being friends with your husband's favorite wife that he chose over everybody else. Not only just the OG wives, but all of his other OG children. Yeah. It's like crazy that Robyn even said that. But apparently Robyn was very hurt.
Yeah.
She was very
surprised and disappointed.
And then she makes a little dig to Mary saying, well, but I heard through the grapevine that Mary was talking bad about me and bashing me publicly.
With her friends?
To her friends. And so, like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, that's clear to me that she doesn't want to have a relationship with me. So I'm just going to have to deal with that.
And so I'm wondering what she's referring to here. I would really love to know when these talking heads are being filmed. I'm wondering if like she's one of us, if she's in the dumpster with us when Mary and Jenn go live Friday with friends, and if she's like got some sort of a sock account, and
Stop it.
she's following those two and listening to every single thing that they've said, and maybe she's heard some of the things that Jenn has said. Or is this filmed after like all of these other scenes with Mary and her random friends in Utah and Vegas? Like, has she seen some of this footage? Has production like clued her in on some of the things that are being said, or is this just stuff that she's picking up because she's following it on social media? What do we think?
Oh my God, I don't know. It might be a bit of both, but let us know your theories below in the comments. But I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm like, oh, so you're listening.
Oh yeah, you're
definitely,
she's definitely listening.
Yep.
I think that the most interesting thing was that Mary said that it would kind of take a lot for them to get their friendship back to a good place. Like, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of sadness, and there's a lot of grief that they would have to work through. And I'm like, talk more about that anger, though.
Yeah.
Talk more about the feminine rage. That's what I want to hear about. But like, there are things that they would have to work through that I do not think Robyn, personally, I don't think Robyn is capable of it. And she even says, I don't think Robyn would be able to hear and like witness what it is that I have to say. And I don't know that she would be honest with me, which is really saying, I think Robyn would probably lie to me.
Yep. And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Finally, Mary is awakening.
Yes.
Give me more of this. Break your NDA. I don't care. Talk crap about this. I want to know what the kinds of things you want to say to Robyn are. Like, please tell us. Please give us the deets. But won't.
She has to do it in this kind of sideways,
of course,
manner in which she has these conversations, and she allows people like Jenn to take the lead and say the things that she wants to say, but like she doesn't have the courage yet to say. And this is the part of the healing process that I really need her to move through so she can get to the feminine rage part in which she's calling all these people on the carpet. That's what I want to get to.
Let's expedite it, please.
Yes.
Jeez. But nonetheless, it was still a very interesting conversation.
Indeed. More of that.
Her and Jenn. I want more of that. I want more of Jenn. I like her.
I do as well.
And then last but not least, we have Kody and Robyn in Flagstaff.
Oh, God.
And we talk about Aurora's watering trough horse baptism.
Watering trough horse baptism.
Because it was in a trough.
It was. I actually went to the website for her church. I've already forgotten the name of it. It's like Urban
United
Hope,
or something.
Urban Hope Church or something in Flagstaff. And I like looked all, because I wanted to know who they're affiliated with. I wanted to know if they were in Assemblies of God or like, who are they, like, denominationally speaking? But I was not able to suss that out from the endless verbiage found on their About page. I'm like, okay, what do you, get to the point. Who are you affiliated with? I don't know. But like right on the front page was a picture. Oh, no. On the Google search was a picture of the trough.
Stop it.
Yeah, like multiple pictures that people had uploaded of the trough where people got baptized, which I mean, I get it. Not everybody can be born and raised in Hawaii and get like baptized in the beach.
Yeah.
Like, on a beautiful day in your bikini.
I mean,
but I'm sure it was a lovely moment for Aurora.
I'm sure it was, but like I could care less.
I don't think,
I don't care about it
not
at all. I don't care about everybody talking about their own baptism.
I don't care about Aurora. I'm sorry. You seem lovely, but I don't care.
I don't care about her at all.
You seem really happy about Jesus and everything. And I'm happy for you. But I don't care. That's because your mother and father set it up in such a way that we really never got to know you.
Exactly.
And we really never got to spend any time with you. And all of a sudden in season 19, they're going to start trotting you out in some sort of a PR campaign to get us to like them. It has nothing to even do with you.
Exactly.
I am not invested in your faith journey. I don't care.
Yep.
And they're so simpering.
I know.
And they're just so timid.
I
They're just like,
know.
oh, I just, please, again, some feminine rage. Like, break out of the cycle of abuse and religious abuse.
I know.
Handmaid's Tale vibes. I'm just
straight up. And I'm like, move out of your creepy parents' house already and like live your own life and wake up to the fact that your parents are demons.
Yeah.
They're awful people.
I mean, you're going to church, but you can't recognize a demon?
I know.
Who you're wrestling against?
For
principalities and powers. They live in your house.
Exactly.
The call is coming from inside the house, Aurora.
Straight up.
Get out.
And I was feeling so bitter seeing the photos of Kody with Aurora during the baptism and like whispering in her ear and like smiling like he's this proud dad.
Makes
and
me
I'm like,
so mad.
You can't even see your other kids. Your other kids that you raised, that you brought into this world, that didn't ask to be born.
He can't see them. He won't see them.
No, I know.
He literally, I know, but I mean, I'm just being pedantic. Like, he doesn't even care about them, but he's willing to show up to Aurora's weird ass trough baptism, right? And this is after we just had a season of him questioning his faith, questioning his relationship with God, and not believing anymore in his prior religion. And yet he's telling us that as I don't know why he's there baptizing Aurora. Like, why? You're not a part of this church. You're not a part of this faith. You're in a totally different religion, but you're there. And as you are baptizing her, you're whispering in her ear, like your AUB Mormon baptism doctrine words. Like, you're not even there for her process. You're still there to push your own BS on this girl. It's all about you, Kody, huh? At the end of the day?
Of course it is. And this was, again, like a total PR stunt for him to try and rehab his image. Like fucking Tom Sandoval on VPR. Like him being like, look, I'm a really good dad and present, and I'm here for my daughter's baptism. But it's like, what about your other kids in Flagstaff that you don't even talk to? You couldn't even wish Savannah a happy birthday.
You didn't even talk to Savannah for months after you fought with her mother at Christmas.
Like, what the heck? I hated this so much.
I just don't like it. And sidebar, because you sent me a post on Reddit from, I think it was today, in which people were talking about the baptism. Yeah. And somebody actually went to the church's Instagram. It looked like it was an Instagram post in which they're featuring Aurora in her baptism. And they're doing it because they're talking about, like, come on in to be baptized. It's a 2-for-1 sale. Jesus is right here.
In the watering trough.
Yeah, it's awesome. But they're like talking about baptizing, and they've got a picture of Aurora, and it is dated April, like I think 20th, 23rd, 27th, something like that, late April.
Of 2024.
Now, that doesn't mean that she got baptized that week. It doesn't mean she got baptized that month, but it does seem to imply that that's around the time that it happened. And so people out there, at least on Reddit right now, are kind of having this issue with the fact that Garrison passed early March. If you recall, we have that scene with Aurora and Kody and Robyn in their kitchen in the McMansion, where Aurora broaches the subject of getting baptized. And we have Easter stuff out and about. Easter, which happened after Garrison passed, and they're pretending there's, this wonderful moment in the family about Aurora's baptism, and we're not even addressing what has actually just happened, this monumental, catastrophic thing that has just happened in the entire family. You would think that would be preeminent in their mind and in their consciousness, but no, we're going to pretend that we're so happy for Aurora. And around that time, it does seem that Aurora went out and got her baptism, and Kody participated in it. While which is fine. But I mean, like, while your entire family is so shell-shocked over the passing of their beloved child and sibling, and this is what you're out here doing. This is what you're out here promoting with your other family. It was just like, I'm of two minds. I want Aurora to have a dad. I want Aurora to have a baptism. I want Aurora to have a faith. That's great. I love that for you, although I don't care about you at all. But at the same time, at this very moment, in the family, people are stricken with grief. And why are we focusing on this? And why are we making it a storyline now for the show?
And I think on that Reddit post, there were a couple people commenting about how this storyline was used probably as filler for all of the Garrison footage that they got rid of. And so that's why we're like kind of seeing this. And that's why we have the family celebration dinner at Josephine's Bistro, which apparently was in June of 2024.
There's photographs of them wearing those same outfits out at Josephine's that was taken by some raccoon out there with a monocle and a camera in like June of 2024. So they're pretending. Once again, they're performing. They're pretending that this has happened right after Aurora's baptism. So all of y'all are lying already in the premise. You're all lying here. Aurora, even you. And Brianna, even you, taking your jabs at Christine and all of that. But it's just like the entire thing sickens me. These people are gross-ass people who have no souls. They're soulless zombie ghouls.
And it's just so annoying to watch. Like, as a kid of divorce, like, my perspective on this is like Kody's acting like a divorced dad. Like, he divorces from his other wives, and he already did this many years ago, but like, he divorced from his other wives. He finds a new woman, his soulmate. He's got this new family, and he just like completely forgets and disregards his old family that he created.
And I think he loved.
Yeah, of course he did.
I think he loved those kids.
Of course he did. Yeah, but he just completely forgets about it. And like, this is my own perspective, so don't come for me if you had a divorced dad that was like nice or whatever. I didn't. And your daughter didn't either, unfortunately. Like, the divorced dads that we've experienced literally just forgot about their previous family. And it's really unfortunate. And that's what my perspective is watching all of this, that like Kody just doesn't even regard his other family.
It's not even a blip on the radar.
No. He's already got his family. He's got his other kids. He's got his soulmate.
He's got his soulmate.
And that's it.
Right.
And like, we're at Josephine's Bistro or whatever, and we're having this like wholesome conversation with the family. But it's so gross. We start talking about soulmates for some reason.
Well, we start talking about Aurora's baptism, and I'm
Nobody
sure she believed that maybe she could talk about herself for a little while and people would be
No one
interested.
cares.
But it's actually just this layup
Yeah.
for them to be able to talk about their relationship. And he's talking about other pivotal moments in her life that'll be just as great as getting married to Jesus in a trough.
Yeah.
And it's either her. Yeah, she mentions marriage. Like, my marriage day will also be one of like the most important days in my life.
Yeah.
And then Brianna says something snide.
Something scripted, being like, well,
Very
yeah,
much
like,
so.
we're so lucky to have been raised by you two because you guys raised us to marry our soulmates, and we would be fools not to do that.
But she's saying it in such an exaggerated way that, you know, in my opinion, she's taking a dig at Christine, who complained about the fact that Robyn and Kody were soulmates.
Yep. And then we have this conversation with Kody and Robyn about the meaning of soulmates. And Cody's like, well, yeah, I didn't realize that Robyn was my soulmate when I married her. And I never thought of her as my soulmate until later. Whereas Robyn, in season 1 or whatever it was.
Episode 1.
Where she was like, he's my soulmate. Yeah. He's my soulmate. And this was kind of interesting because Robyn brings this up and says that was actually an unfair comment for her to make. And she didn't realize it at the time because she had never been in a polygamist marriage before. And that she realized it was unfair. I know.
Home, allegedly, although your mama was just a mistress who saw her husband on the weekends.
Exactly.
Did the first wife even know about your mama?
Exactly. So I thought that was an interesting admission?
Kind of a very roundabout way to actually approach the idea of an approximation of taking accountability for something that she did, because Janelle goes on to say, and of course, Christine goes on to say, like, it's just not something you say or do in a polygamous family structure, because that's going to obviously imply that the other women don't have that kind of a relationship with the husband, and that's going to make people feel bad. And
And so Robyn tells that to Kody. Kody was like, I guess, flattered that she considered him her soulmate, and then now he considers her his soulmate, and I don't care. Then we have some weird interstitial about how they're so in love, and the kids watch them and are all goo goo gaga about them.
Okay,
Oh my God,
y'all sound real weird. Your vampire children are vampiring. They're weird.
I'm like, read the room, bro. Like, you just had 3 divorces with these women talking about how you didn't care about them, didn't love them, didn't even touch them. You have the loss of your child.
You don't talk to your other kids.
And you're talking about how you're a fool for Robyn.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. No one likes you guys.
It's so tone deaf. It's so inappropriate.
It really is.
They don't understand. I just feel like they think they're cooking out here.
Oh, they do.
Like, oh my God, they're going to love this. They're going to love this whole baptism thing. And they're really going to see, Kody, how like you showed up for her on the trough that day.
Wow, such a good
like,
guy.
You were there that day and you were like really a good dad. To Aurora, and like, you love me so much, and the kids even see it. Just say that though. Tell them that the kids are always looking and that they just adore us, and this is such a happy family. If they see that, they'll believe that.
Exactly.
And it's just the exact opposite that ends up happening time and time again. It's these scripted, stupid, performed conversations that everybody can see right through. And if they only told the truth, if they simply told the truth, like, we'd have much more respect for all of them. And the sad thing is that they're roping their dumb kids into it. And I'm speaking of the adults. I'm not talking about Saul and Ari. They're adorable. But like, these adult other women, Thank God Dayton's not. Why wouldn't Dayton be there on the day of her quinceañera / baptism? Like, you would think Dayton would be there, but he's nowhere to be found, furthering our conspiracy and our idea that he has just been like, I gotta go. I cannot associate with you dregs of humanity anymore.
I know. I want him to end up like Colin Gosselin and start doing these E-News interviews with people and stuff.
Please, Jesus, please.
For real, though.
Please.
I mean, come on. I need some of these kids to start spilling
Waking
some
up.
stuff.
Yes.
And then after the whole soulmate talk, I'm barfing in my mouth.
And Amazon Nori.
Robyn also makes a comment about how the reason why they all broke up as a family was everyone was too focused on their jealousy and in it for themselves and didn't have God involved enough in their relationships. And I thought that that was her telling on herself.
Yes.
Because she was involved in herself. She didn't care about none of these other wives.
Mhm.
She didn't care about none of these other kids. She just cared about Peg and Kody. That's all she cared about. And then she talks about how her and Kody worked really hard to make sure their relationship survived. And they're very proud that it survived all of these divorces because apparently Kody was a moody butthole.
Can we just talk for a moment about the languaging of that?
Yeah.
And the fact that she's using the term survive after we've just had the passing of our beloved Garrison.
Yeah.
And you're talking about surviving?
Like, what are you
the
surviving?
devastation that you yourself wrought and brought and visited upon this entire family, and you're a survivor?
Like, please.
I can't. It's enraging.
Yep.
I'm filled with rage and hate and vitriol, and it's not a godly moment.
No.
I'm like, I have to stop. I have to pray a little. I've got to reset. I've got to get myself together because these aren't real people.
No.
They're not in my actual life. But when I tell you my blood pressure goes, my jugular, bitch, just protruding. There's that fucking vein on my temple, and I'm just like, if I could fight these people.
Oh my God.
If I could fight these people, I would.
They need to be punched a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Just knock somebody
You
out
need to
a
get
little bit.
humbled a
Just
bit.
knock him out.
For reals. I just hate them so much.
We don't advocate for violence, really.
Except for Kody and Robyn, though.
No. We're in a dumpster. We're trashy.
Yeah. And then Robyn makes a comment at the very end. This is how the episode ends, about how she doesn't know if she could live polygamy again. Which I'm like, for the last 20 freaking episodes, you've been saying that you only wanted to live polygamy. This was your dream. You were crying on Coyote Pass. And now you're saying you don't know if you could live it again. Girl!
I deeply dislike her.
I hate her so
I
much.
do not prefer her.
I really hate her.
So bad. As a person, you're just failing.
Hardcore.
Yep.
And we have the preview for next week. We have Christine. It's her first Valentine's Day since being married.
So do we think this is Valentine's 2024?
I don't know.
Is this Valentine's 2025? Because her first Valentine's would have been 2024. So that means we're jumping
Going back
in the timeline.
Yeah.
Like before the baptism and like right after Janelle left. Like,
Girl, I don't know.
Make it make sense.
I literally can't keep anything straight anymore.
Mhm.
And then we have Mary and Janelle talking about Coyote Pass. And apparently Mary is afraid of the wrath from Kody.
All right.
About like suing for what? Your fair share?
Your fair share, but like she doesn't want to, I guess, upset this man and rock the boat. And Janelle's like, he can't do anything to you. This man has no power in your life anymore. Why don't you worthy up? I don't know. I heard it somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe you should try it.
Maybe you should try it.
You're wearing the shirt after all.
Gosh, for real.
Worthy up.
And then we have Robyn, who is fake concerned about Kody and if only one wife is going to be enough for him.
Sure.
And I think she asks him that in the attic of Josephine's Bistro again. And Cody's like, that's a loaded question.
We already know his answer. And once again, these are superfluous scenes. We do not need scenes with these people.
No!
We've already heard all of the things. Please get them off of my television.
I literally don't care unless they start admitting to their bullcrap.
And their crimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they're not going to.
No, they are not. But
so, anyway.
There were some juicy bits in this.
Yeah.
And when I was not raging, I was enjoying. I'm traveling to Louisiana and then North Carolina with my girl Janelle, looking ethereal in pinks. Wear more pinks. It's so pretty on you.
Love it. Yes.
And I'm loving Christine being happy and Mary, like thinking about ending up with somebody.
Yes.
Like, and sharing her life with someone. Like, I love that, but I don't need any of the other stuff. Like,
No.
we never need to go back to Flagstaff.
No.
Ever.
Fire them. Let them go bankrupt. I don't care. Rot.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
If they got the proverbial pink slip, like
Girl.
that communication that comes in from Bravo with some of these housewives who get let go after the reunion, and
Please.
they make some post on social media like, I've chosen to leave the franchise because I've got other chapters that I want to write, but you got fired, bitch. And I would love
it so
if we had a little bit of that for Cody
God,
and Robyn.
please.
What would they do?
They would be so screwed.
And I'm not just saying it, Beatrice. I don't think we need them.
No, we don't need them at all.
I think we can just refer to them and show like the articles and like talk about it that way.
Get them
and
off the TV.
Bring back Tamron Hall. Did you see any of the interview with Mary and Tamron Hall?
Yes, it was pretty good. Did you watch it?
I watched some of them.
Like, there was obviously a lot of breadcrumbing from Mary because that's what she's good at.
Right.
There were some juicy things because apparently Tamron told Mary and all of us that she was a little butthurt that she got ousted from the tell-alls and she didn't understand why. And Mary kind of alludes to how some of the family members, aka Cody and Robin, were upset with Tamron's line of questioning and how she would press them on some of the tougher subjects and some of their BS and everything.
Yeah, trying to hold them accountable for things that we had actually seen with our own raccoon eyes.
Yeah.
Cody didn't like it. And essentially, Cody is the one that got Tamron fired.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Which we already knew.
Of course.
But thank you for confirming that.
Yeah.
He cannot handle it. And so that's why we have a Sukanya, I always do that, a Sukanya or Suki, who is so like careful with how she's approaching these conversations, particularly with Cody and Robyn, because she knows he's going to have a toddler tantrum pamper problem with her if she presses too much, so she cannot.
And this is why we need to kick them off the show.
Yeah, like if you
literally
can't
don't
handle
need
the
them.
heat, get out of the effing kitchen.
Honestly.
Like, this is the show. We saw what we saw and now address it. And if you don't want to, GTFO. And furthermore, get y'all in a room so you can all talk to each other. So as soon as you lie, which is what you don't do anything but lie, then you've got Janelle over here, and you got Mary over here, you got Christine over here saying, actually, that's not how that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, so some of the stuff that came out during that conversation with Tamron was good.
It was pretty interesting.
We need more. We need more.
And Mary is the queen of breadcrumbs, and I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm over it.
And I want her to give me the full freaking loaf. I'm starving.
Yeah, I know you're wasting away. I'm very worried about you.
I know, I'm so skinny.
I also know that was it Ethel who sent you the astrological signs of the wives? Okay, let's save that for Patreon.
Yeah.
So let's conclude now. Let's wrap this up. And then if you're on Patreon, if you're a raccoon who's in the VIP dumpster, we will continue and have a conversation about the strange astrological charts of the sister wives. But is there anything else that we need to say before we get up on out of here, Beatrice?
Well, if you love our podcast, please be sure to go to your favorite podcast platform and leave us a glowing 5-star review. It really helps us grow the pod so more people can join us in the dumpster. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We will be back later this week to take your many speak pipe calls. Apparently, we are overloaded, honey, so we can't get to all of them, but we're going to get to some of them. We will be releasing that on Friday. Make sure to come back for that. Also, next week, we are going to be talking about polyfamily. We're not going to be covering the actual episode, though. The first episode, we're going to be a week late for a little while, but we are going to just talk about the couple's first impressions, fake psychic predictions, and we'll introduce everybody to what's going on with these folks.
Yeah.
And then we're going to start recapping in earnest the week after that. So stick around for it all. We're going to have so much fun. Until then, please not forget that we have nothing but love for you. And again, if you're a patron, hang on. We're going to talk about those charts, and do not forget that we have nothing but love for you. Bye. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.